the council secretary for Namwala to come back, for Kaloma, I beg your pardon, to come back and continue making that submission to the committee. So that will happen just a little later. The committee has just asked for some time, so we wait for the business to continue. And I did mention that other committees are sitting. Yes, indeed, we have the Committee on National Economy and Labour Matters. This committee was sitting in Committee Room 1, and the witness that appeared before the committee was the Zambia Development Agency. And then we also have the Committee on Transport, Works and Supply. This committee held its deliberations in Committee Room 5, and two witnesses appeared before the committee this morning and part of afternoon: the Engineering Institution of Zambia and Tazara. The two institutions made submissions to the Committee on Transport, Works and Supply, sitting in Committee Room 1, Committee on Sport and Child Matters, sitting Commission, and the Civil Society for Poverty Reduction. These two institutions made their submission to the Committee on Youth, Sport and Child Matters, sitting in Committee Room number. As you know, Parliament Buildings also has a media center, and that side another committee was also sitting, and this is a Committee on National Guidance and Gender Matters. So I hope that from your very, very busy schedule as a citizen of Zambia, you might just find some time to come to Parliament Buildings and be a witness to some of many activities that happen. Remember, this institution is ours. It belongs to all of us, so we have to take keen interest in the. Remember, you and I have a representative in the House, and it is for that reason is happening, what holding government accountable. And just to mention, to provide oversight on the activities of the government. Remember, you and I pay tax, and for that reason our members of Parliament, you know, have this responsibility to actually provide oversight on the happenings in the country, on what the executive doing, the members of Parliament. And one of the ways that the members of Parliament provide oversight through in the legislature is through the committee system. You will notice that, for example, the local government accounts, there are so many queries that are there. So as parliamentarians, as the legislature, providing oversight on what the executive is doing, members of Parliament in the committees make those queries, and they want to find out, they want to know, and in doing that they are performing the duties on behalf of yourself and myself. So those are some of the functions of Parliament, and I hope that you indeed are enjoying watching Parliament TV and indeed listening to Parliament Radio. I did indicate earlier on that if you're unable to watch Parliament TV, follow deliberations, be a committee, always do that by listening to Parliament Radio. And Parliament Radio broadcasts in many places. In Lusaka, in case you're wondering, where it is 92.5 FM, Solwezi 93.3 FM, Mansa 91.5 FM, Petauke, it does broadcast on 96.1 FM, Mungu 98.5 FM, Chipata 95.7, Chembe 94.7 FM, Pemba 105.5 FM. Not forgetting the tourist capital, Livingstone, on 100.5 FM. Other places that Parliament Radio does broadcast: Kapirimposi, Chinsali, Chadiza, Kitwe, Kasama, Mapatizia, and Mporokoso. And just to mention that you can also follow deliberations on of what is happening at Parliament, be it in the committees or in the chamber, via the website www.parliament.gov.zm. You can also follow live parliamentary proceedings via Facebook, and of course you can also, if you have time, you can also take time to come to Parliament building and as a visitor just to observe what happens. Of course, we always encourage that because Parliament has this open door policy. It has this open door policy where you can come and just get to know what this institution is. And just to mention that when you come here, you'll be guided. Of course, the dress code is smart casual, and when you come here, you'll be guided on the do's and don'ts whilst you're here. And just one thing that I would mention, that before I came to this institution, I did think that when you come here and something is interesting on the floor of the House, I thought I can actually, clap and give an applause because the Member of Parliament has said something that I strongly agree with. But just to mention that when you're in the chamber and you're listening to deliberations, you're happy with what a member says on the floor, in case, especially if it's your Member of Parliament, you're happy, you are not supposed to give an applause. You're not part of the deliberation, so you just watch. So those are some of the do's and don'ts that should be guided through when you come to Parliament buildings. And for those of you wondering where this noble institution is, well, Parliament Buildings is in Olympia Park in Lusaka on Parliament Road, off Greatest Road, next to Mulungushi International Conference Center. And all we ask is that when you come here, please come with your identification. It can be your NRC, it can be your passport, or indeed your driving license. And as I said, smart casual. The time on Parliament TV is 13:03, and what we're doing right now is just waiting for the Committee on Local Government Accounts to finish its deliberations before it continues engaging with the Council Secretary for Kaloma Town Council. So that is what has happened. But just to mention that earlier on, the Committee on Local Government Accounts, which is considering the accounts, the audit of the accounts on local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, did receive a submission from the Council Secretary, Namwala Town Council. And I did indicate earlier on that unfortunately the Council Secretary for Namwala Town Council was actually asked to go back and relook at its submission, and then at a later date they'll be advised on when they can actually come and present their submission to the committee. The chairperson, the vice chairperson, Honorable Shakafuso, actually did mention that the committee was not pleased with the responses that were provided to the committee, and indeed, he did say that the work that the committee does is very, very important, and as such, all witnesses that are bringing a submission to the committee should attach seriousness to that, because the committee takes its work very seriously. He also did indicate that in responding to some of the many issues, they did not provide audited payment vouchers. They did not provide such type of evidence. So the committee, after a short deliberation, did decide to send the delegation back so that they look at the responses, at the submission that they're making, saying that in as much as some responses were given, no corrective action taken was provided, and yeah, that of course did warrant them being sent off. So stay tuned, we cross back to the committee in a short while. Parliament TV, bringing Parliament closer to you.
Welcome back, Kaloma Town Council. You are 12. I think you were following the deliberations, and obviously you've noted the honor. Hence, we asked that you step outside, because we felt that there were areas and as we end the meeting. They will guide you which areas we need more information, especially on the financials, where you are queried and you have spent the money. Well and good, you've provided the bank statement, but good practice, you needed to highlight those payments, inflows, the income and expenditure that speak to the query, so that you make it very easy for the honorable members to follow your response. Without that, it's very difficult for this committee to actually follow you with your responses. We want to emphasize that you need to improve on the way you report. I know you'll be coming back for CDF operations. So with the guidance that will be given to you through Secretariat, we hope you produce a better report. Some of the key takeaways for Kalomo Town Council include the improvement on service delivery and infrastructure. You need to address your infrastructure issues such as road maintenance and waste management. The procurement of essential equipment like skip trucks must be expedited to ensure continuous service provision. Accountability and compliance. You need to put in stronger compliance with financial and procurement regulations. Public service efficiency. A performance monitoring system must be implemented to track progress on deliverables. During our interaction, it was very clear that you have not been undertaking M&E activities, but what we realize is that most of you are newly posted officers in the district. Hence, we expect you have the tools, you have the resources, you have the vehicles to undertake M&E activities, especially when you are answering and speaking to these queries of the Auditor General. You need to go on the ground and verify. In conclusion, I want to thank you for your appearance, and at this point I wish to withdraw the immunity that was given to you by the committee, and what you submit going forward, you are on your own, Council Secretary, with your team. Perhaps you wanted to say something.
Thank you very much, Chair. Your wise counsel is noted.
The session is officially closed. You get in touch with Secretary for more information that the committee needs. Thank you so much. You may leave us. We can break off for lunch.
Parliament TV, the time is 13:10, and on that note, that marks the end of business and the Committee of Local Government Accounts for this part of the day. We expect business in this committee, Local Government Accounts, to continue later on in the afternoon. So what we're saying just before this was that the Council Secretary for Kalomo Town Council and his delegation have been asked to go back and relook at the report that they made, so that they bring a better report, of course factoring the many issues that the Vice Chairperson did point out. And just to say that he did say that a number of things were highlighted, amongst them evidence saying that evidence, yes, was provided, but may not have been adequate for members of parliament to indeed be satisfied with those responses. So the chairperson did actually ask them that they should really re-look that. And then he also did point out that there were many issues, and of course among the issues that we remember from the submission earlier on and from the questions from member of parliament was the failure to collect revenue. And in doing that, the delegation from Kalomo did not bring in the adequate or sufficient evidence that was needed for the committee to actually note that yes, indeed, this will not repeat itself. So that is what happened. And so what it is that the two councils that have appeared before the local government accounts committee this morning have both been asked to go back, relook their submission, come up with a better submission and a date to be advised. They are going to come back to the local government accounts and make the submission. So earlier on we had Namwala Town Council and later on Kalomo Town Council. So both of them have been asked to go back. And just to say that the Committee on Local Government Accounts is looking at was considering the report of the Auditor General on the report of the accounts of local authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. This committee has been sitting for some time, and as Parliament TV, we're always airing it out there so that you, our dear viewers, do follow deliberations that take place in the committee. So I think this is where I have to say goodbye to you. Thank you very much for keeping me company, and I just urge you to continue watching Parliament TV. Be with us up to the time that we end today's transmission. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. So for now, this is Mutali Felile Smate saying goodbye. Have a lovely lunch, and not to forget that, of course, I'm with my colleague Jason Manda, the sign language interpreter. So from the two of us, we wish you a very lovely lunch, enjoyable lunch, of course hoping that you'll be with us later on as we continue airing the deliberations that will continue taking place in the local government accounts. For now, have a good day.